It's time for the Edwards Brothers Mini-Cross A final, and you can see from the camera lens how wet it has become. Mark Griffin has the onboard camera, and just ahead of him is David Cox in 415. Peer through the gloom, you'll see the red lights. When the lights go out, the minis will be underway now, and away they go. Down towards turn one, in towards paddock they go, and who is it going to be that makes the best of the starts? Dave Cox trying to muscle his way up on the inside, and there's contact there. That looks like Chris Hudson that gets fired off, launching his way across the grass. Mark Griffin comes back on, Hudson disappears past him, and there is Hudson still fighting for control. Dave Cox is still alongside him. Hudson now forced off the road, goes behind the tar barriers there, all four wheels off the circuit as the race leader looks like being George Edwards then. The championship sponsor has made good his escape while all of the fun and games have been going on behind him. David Cox gets a tap in the tail, gets all sideways. Is he going off the road? Well, David Bell has spun as well. Two more of them in dramas then, as George Edwards comes out in front, but only just. He's got Mark Griffin now right on his tail. We're not a lap into the A final, and it's all action then. The cars turning their way through the Horseshoe S's for the first time. It was John Thacker, remember, who won the opening round of the championship at Croft. His car very badly damaged earlier on in the day, and so now we've got the leading gaggle all pretty much together once again as they turn their way down once more towards the loose part of the circuit at paddock. George Edwards leads the way, Mark Griffin behind him in second place. Now, when Edwards isn't having to defend, he is able to build a bit of a gap. You'll see Griffin it is in second place as they thread their way out of paddock onto the pit straight once again. Yellow flag being shown to warn drivers of dramas further up the road. Now, remember, the opening round of the championship at Croft won by John Thacker. Thacker had that big accident earlier on in the day, but with rather unfamiliar colours of bodywork, there he is in third place. He's had a new front end put onto the car. They've hammered out most of the dents, and Thacker runs in third place, and he's on the tail of Mark Griffin. He's keeping Chris Hudson at bay, and what looked as though it could be a fairly bleak day for John Thacker might actually put him onto the podium here at the end of the A final. You can see how the weather has deteriorated from very sunny conditions and dusty conditions at part early on in the day. Now it is decidedly bleak and treacherous, and the rain's getting heavier as they come over the line. The leader is George Edwards, and he's pulling away as Mark Griffin gets sideways, and John Thacker's in the wars once again. Bounces off the side of him, takes the nuts travel board down with him. He's back on track, more or less, but he's lost a place, and having suggested he might be good for the podium, poor old John Thacker's car is further damaged. Chris Hudson is off the road again. Thacker magnetically attracted to another tyre stack there. And as they come onto the pit straight, the only person in this, I don't think, who's had any dramas at all is George Edwards. Up to second place now has gone Chris Hudson, look. David Bell's car still stuck by the side of the road. Mark Griffin paddling his way through in third position. And despite the lack of visibility, he's still on the tail of the leaders now. Hudson is right up behind George Edwards. This is becoming a really serious battle now for the race lead in this A final. They're making their way once more through the Horseshoe S's. You can see the way the gap is coming down and down between the three leading cars now, because Griffin is there as well. Over the line they come. Mark Griffin having a look on the inside of Chris Hudson, who gets sideways. He's going to lose the back of it. He's on the grass. He's off. And Chris Hudson does make contact with the tar barrier. So the man that was second is now off the road. Can he rejoin? Can he get points out of this? As an understeering Mark Griffin slithers wide, and John Thacker is back onto his tail. So Thacker looks as though not only is he going to finish on the podium, he might even take second place, but there is still a long way to go before the flag. Thacker's car crabbing a little bit in a straight line after its earlier dramas. Mark Griffin hangs on to second position then as they come through the chicane. George Edwards still leads the way. Griffin is second, Thacker is third, and then the red Mini of Dave Cox coming into the picture as well now. Thacker challenges on the outside, the door is left open, there's more contact as Cox elbows his way up alongside, and he's going to go through there. Yes, he does. Dave Cox goes third, John Thacker pushed back to fourth place. It's an A final win for George Edwards. The championship he sponsors, the Mini-Cross category, is won by George Edwards. Second is Mark Griffin, third is Dave Cox, and John Thacker ends up in fourth after all the hard work to make the car mini-shaped once again. He couldn't quite get it onto the podium. He takes fourth place with Hudson and David Bell, the two retirements, but George Edwards can celebrate a great Mini-Cross win.
So here with George Edwards. George, congratulations on a brilliant win in what must be very tricky conditions.
Sure. Yeah, first lap, just went off of the front chicane. It's just so slippy out there. It's literally an ice ring, but really, that's a great day. I'd like to thank everyone, family, and Revivals put this amazing car together. Really, it's an amazing car, just off the starts. It's excellent.
So Shelley's very pleased because it used to be hers, but yeah. I think you must be even happier right now.
Yeah. First win. Obviously I was juniors last year, but this means 10 times as much. Just to be fighting against people like Griffin and John. It's amazing, and come away with the win. I'm so happy.